Small mammals' whole bodies sway with their heartbeats. One day she vented about a little everyday stressor. Did she mean the motion of her heart reverberated inside her? As a large carnivore, I had a hard time imagining it, so I had the feeling I gave a really half-assed reply. But even as I murmured absent-mindedly, I couldn't take my eyes off her anxious-looking profile. She was a tiny dwarf rabbit, but in my memories, I always see her face close up. A few of her expressions are burned into my mind as if they had been developed as enlarged photographs. The next stop is Washington. Washington. I noticed my fur rising and falling with the sway of the train. I remembered what she said that time. I'm not small enough for my body to sway with my heartbeat, and my species isn't all that sensitive. But I felt like I understood her expression from back then a little better. I felt like I had been swallowed whole by a monster called a train and was being rocked along with its heartbeat. Breaking away from my friends who tried to stop me, I fled the school and ended up here. The one who ate TM had ambushed me, and I was beat to hell. Who was the killer? Could I find out? Even though I'd gotten my ass kicked? I felt so helpless, meeker than a small mammal. My fur swayed. This train line had a lot of curves, so the car rocked hard. The gray hairs covering my arms swayed as if being blown in a windy meadow along with my fears. I'm nervous. A beast's mental state and general condition are reflected pretty obviously in their fur. What must it feel like to be a little mammal, swaying with your heartbeat from birth and ever after? How could you be this anxious all the time and interact with all the other species? The next stop is in Daboshi. In Daboshi, I want herbivores to be able to live with a little less worry. If possible, I'd like for them to never have to fear for their lives ever again and sleep safe and sound every night. And that's why I have to catch the killer lurking at school. I have to defeat them. Before I knew it, I was getting off the train. The passengers disembarking here were mostly, to an unnatural degree, carnivores. Because it was the closest stop to the black market, the market where you could illegally get a hold of herbivore meat. The large muscular bodies of the meat eaters swaggered down the platform. Some wore suits, some were dressed in the casual wear of university students. They all looked different, but they were probably all after the same thing. Though they were only walking down the platform, their feet all had an abnormal amount of spring in them. Their big bone tails wagged. Their fangs were showing, and they were breathing hard. To an herbivore who had alighted here for a different purpose, this was a march of terror. And I was participating in that march. Why did I get off at this stop? Am I heading for the black market, too? If I was instinctively going that way in search of some peace, then I was no different from all these carnivores headed to the market to eat meat. I walked faster. I bounded up the stairs in order to beat everyone else out of the ticket gate. To escape the mob of carnivores headed for the black market? To prove that I was different from them? Or maybe to show off my powerful body? I could hear the wind whipping through the hair at my ears. My breath grew rough. I passed the ticket gate and exited into the bright outside world. Resting my hands on my knees, I caught my breath. I guess it had been a while since I'd run as fast as I could. As I breathed deeply, looking at the ground, I felt my body swaying at a strange tempo. Is this it? I held a hand to my chest and sensed the frantic appeal of my heart. Small mammals' whole bodies sway with their heartbeats. That's proof that you're living with all your might. Haru. You feel your heartbeat in every moment, and that's what makes you shine. I'm just a big, dense wolf, so unless I converse with my body like this, I don't feel my heart at all. It can be hard to know what to do. What's right? I'm not strong like you. I was taken aback by my pounding life force frantically making its presence known for this brief moment. My body was telling me that now was the time to move. I'll go to the black market. There you find what it means to be a carnivore. It's all there. I'm sure I'll find a clue. My heartbeat synced with hers in my breast. I strode forward, together with the crowd of carnivores. But to protect the herbivores,